Good evening. Thank you for being here for my senior project. This evening, I'd like to discuss a topic that is huge in today's day and age. Within the last century, media's influence on society has skyrocketed. With the creation of smartphones came the creation of many apps that make photos, videos, and other things available to us with simply one touch. Many apps are used as sources to make an impact on our followers from all over the world. My question is, what kind of impact are we making? I've witnessed many people making both positive and negative impacts, but more often than not, it seems that the positive are merely responses to the negative. How many times a day do you find yourself scrolling through Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, or any other social media feed? The answer for most of us would be more times than we can count. The media is constantly at our fingertips to explore. One of the biggest things we are constantly influenced by in the media is fashion. Whether it be through looking at a magazine, a public figure's page, or even simply looking at a friend's photo, we tend to look at what they're wearing before looking at anything else. Why? Simply because the media has already influenced us to do so. We want to wear what public figures wear because it's what's deemed as cool. Most of us have grown up under this impression for the majority of our lives. As I've gotten older, I've come to realize more and more that with the promotion of a certain fashion look comes the promotion of a certain body type. Most of the people that we see wearing the hottest, latest, and greatest trends are often slim, muscular, and fairly tall. This has become the ideal look that everyone is now striving for. Society has and is continuing to promote the idea that if we don't look like those models or have that perfect body, we are not beautiful. This thought has made millions of people all over the world uncomfortable in their own skin. Studies have reported that about 60% of the public is ashamed of the way that they look. In the period from 2008 to 2012, cosmetic surgery rates went up nearly 20%. We push ourselves, sometimes to the breaking point, to look just like them. Not only is this sad, but if the situation gets bad enough, it can also be detrimental to a person's health. It may even be life-threatening. Studies have reported that body dissatisfaction is actually the best-known contributor to the development of bulimia nervosa and anorexia nervosa. Many people all over the planet suffer from various types of eating disorders, such as binge eating, anorexia, bulimia, night eating syndrome, and purging disorder. One study conducted by Ann Becker, an expert on eating disorders at Harvard Medical School in Boston, was done on girls in Fiji. Now in Fiji, in the mid-1990s, there was only one reported case of anorexia in the entire country. One contributing factor was that there was almost no exposure to television in Fiji up until 1995. Until then, Fiji's culture had always valued larger women. In 1995, there was not a single report of a girl purging to manage her weight. However, by 1998, in a survey of 15 girls, more than 1 in 10 girls reported having purged. Years went by, and in 2007, a survey of more than 500 girls between ages 15 and 20 was conducted. Of those girls, 4 in 10 admitted to having purged. The more Becker looked into it, the more she saw that it had gotten so bad that the girls didn't even have to be directly exposed to Western media to be affected by it. If one girl was exposed, so was the next through social networking. They actually found that there was a stronger link between social networking and dangerous eating habits than there was between the latter and Western media. Sadly, Fiji is not the only nation besides the United States to be affected. Studies conducted in Australia have shown that 75% of Australian high school girls had an image in their heads of the ideal figure that was thinner than that of their own. However, these girls are not the only ones who are affected in such a way. It was reported that out of adolescent Australian boys, while 1/3 of them wished to be smaller, over 1/3 wanted to be larger. It was found that many adults were also affected. Out of a community sample of Australian adults, 47% of healthy weight women and 24% of healthy weight men believe themselves to be overweight. And the numbers in the United States are even higher. In the US, statistics have shown that there are 20 million women and 10 million men that have suffered from eating disorders at some point in their life. It has also been shown that by the age of 6, young girls begin expressing their concerns about their weight or shape. Of girls ages 6 to 12, 40 to 60% are concerned about their weight. And of these girls, 35 to 57% of them engage in unhealthy weight control behaviors. These rates have been on an uphill climb since the 1950s. Another study has shown that of girls that are in 5th through 12th grades, 69% said that the photos they had seen in magazines had influenced their ideas of the ideal body shape. One of the saddest parts about this is that those images that they have seen are generally airbrushed versions of models who weigh 23% less than the average woman. Because the latter is true, generations are hurting themselves mentally and physically as they strive for this unrealistic idea of perfection. Unfortunately, these photos and images we see in the media are not the only things that can affect how we view ourselves. With the growth of social media has come the growth of cyberbullying. As social media has become more popular, people have found themselves with more access to be able to publicly harass others for their weight or appearance. Body shaming is said to be one of the most commonly seen forms of cyberbullying in social media. Statistics have shown that up to 65% of people suffering from eating disorders say that bullying was a major contribution. One study in California showed that 1 in 3 middle school and high school students claim to have been harassed at least once in the last year. In the 2011 to 2013 California Healthy Kids Survey, it was reported that 34% of students in grades 7, 9, and 11 claim to have been bullied 1 or more times. This being said, California is the top state for referrals to treatment centers. While this is true, I haven't heard of any referrals in our community. Nonetheless, I and others that I have known have struggled with body image due to these same factors. Danielle Dondevere, a fellow student at Faith Christian High School, says that growing up, she had always battled with self-esteem. She reported that since she had obtained social media, her self-esteem has only lowered further. I'll be scrolling through Pinterest or Instagram and see these girls the size of my pinky getting called beautiful and being praised, while other thicker girls and I are called fat and unhealthy. From my own personal experience, I can most definitely attest to that. Ms. Dondevere concluded by admitting, "I feel like I need to look like them to be considered beautiful." This last statement is nothing short of proving the effects these images really do have on us. One of the saddest parts about this is that they seem to be drawing us away from being confident in our Christian belief that we are all created in God's image. While this is the common Christian belief, many denominations have their own set of beliefs that come with it. According to the Orthodox Christian Church, there is a very clear understanding that our bodies are created exactly the way God desired for us to be formed and to exist eternally. Orthodox Christians also believe that after the second coming, these exact bodies that we are living in now will be resurrected, and in the afterlife in heaven, they will rejoin our souls. This comes with the belief that our heavenly bodies will be perfected, but will still be the same bodies. Father Thaddeus Hardenbrook of St. Lawrence Orthodox Christian Church in Felton, California, discusses the media's effect on this belief as such. It enforces 2 terrible misunderstandings of the human body. 1, the beauty of the human body is to be objectified, reduced to a personless visual impression intended to grant enjoyment to the viewer without any relationship to the actual person. And 2, that everyone is free to modify their body, whether it be through dieting, tattoos, fashion, gender reassignment, etc., in order to perfect it according to the lusts and unillumined opinions of secular society. Going further into the second point, he goes on to say that God created the body complete in its beauty. The body cannot be changed to improve over God's original design, and attempting to change the bodies we are given is a rejection of his design. Diving further into denominational beliefs, we come to the Roman Catholic Christian Church's view. According to Father Alvin Brown of St. Isidore Catholic Church, society has promoted the idea that the body is either a tool or a confinement. He went on to point out that society has pushed the idea that the body is a project or a medium to vent feelings on. Father Brown says that society forms the thought that the body is something to be manipulated rather than a part of the person themselves. As we look into the church's beliefs, we find that they believe that God does not have a physical body. He is fully spirit. This being said, the church believes that the human being is the unity of soul and body, and as Father Brown states it, the human being in integrity is loved by the Creator. It is proved that we are created in the image of God in Genesis 1:27. So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. This only further proves that we are made according to God's design and that we cannot improve what he has already done. Looking into the Episcopal Church's belief, while the Episcopal Church does believe that we are created in God's image, Reverend Richard Laffman of St. James Episcopal Church points out that doesn't provide much detail. We don't know if God is all male, female, or both. We don't know if our souls mean we are spirits. The only thing we know is that we are called to love one another as ourselves. Reverend Laffman points out that God accepts us exactly the way we are. He doesn't care if we are what commercials say we should be or if we do what others tell us we should do. He doesn't care if we don't look like all of the richest and most famous celebrities. He loves each of us exactly the way that he made us. My own church, which is of the Southern Baptist Convention, believes much of the latter to be true as well. According to the Southern Baptist Convention, man is the special creation of God. He chose to create each of us in his divine image. God created both males and females as the crowning work of his creation. The Bible tells us in 1 Samuel 16:7, "The Lord sees not as man sees. Man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart." This goes to show that we should take care of and respect our bodies, and that God does not discriminate against our size or appearance. It's not what's truly important to him. We believe that every person, no matter what size, is worthy of respect and Christian love. It's time we begin to take a stand against this issue that the media has played a major role in helping to create. There are many ways in which we can do so. If you want to help those who have already been affected by body shaming and are hurting, help them by donating to or fundraising for research facilities on eating disorders or to treatment centers so that these facilities and doctors can be properly equipped to help. If you personally know someone or a group of people who are struggling with body image, create a small group. Be there for them. Help them to know that they are loved just as they are. Encourage them to seek out and find help, and offer to go with them if they want someone by their side. In doing so, it could potentially set off a domino effect. They could see and feel that love and be encouraged to do the same for others. Take part in helping to end body shaming altogether, whether it be by sharing body positive posts with the hashtag bodypositive on social media, or getting involved with programs that take a stand. These programs include the Dove Self-Esteem Project and Beauty Redefined. There'll be more information about those in the handouts you'll receive when I am finished. Both programs offer many different means of spreading body positivity and self-love. These things possess the potential to start a revolutionary movement. We've discussed a vast amount of issues with the way that media has influenced people to think and feel about themselves. The idea of the perfect or ideal body that society promotes has caused millions to be body shamed, which often leads to overall body dissatisfaction. Body dissatisfaction, in turn, can lead to depression, self-harm, and a multitude of severe eating disorders, and it has also continued to cause those of us who believe in Christ to forget that we are created beautifully in his image. If more and more people begin to take a stand against it, eventually it could reach major news, and people all over the world will be able to take part in putting an end to body shaming. Together, we can make a difference in society and the world around us. Thank you.